afternoon, if everybody can have a seat. Thank you. I'd like to start this Veterans Day program by first welcoming the senior class of 2018, seated at the right and the left of the auditorium. I'd also like to welcome our 9th through 11th grade students who are receiving a live feed in all of their homerooms at this time. Our veterans and their very special guests who are seated in the middle, thank you for coming. And we're also fortunate to have many special guests in attendance, including Mr. Huggins, who's the West Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Bogle, who's the North Assistant Superintendent, and Dr. Judy Basin. So again, welcome to all. My name is Dave Penneberg. I am the principal at Appleton North High School, and I'm honored to be speaking to you today on such an important occasion. We are here today to honor our service members and also to remember their sacrifices made and the courage it takes to defend honor, duty, and country. The service members here today come from many walks of life, but they also share many fundamental qualities. They possess courage, pride, determination, selflessness, dedication to duty, and integrity, all qualities needed to serve a cause larger than oneself. Veterans Day, originally called Armistice Day, was originally designated as a day to celebrate the end of World War I. The First World War ended November 11, 1918, and the legislation was created that day, and I quote, dedicated to the cause of world peace and to be thereafter celebrated and known as Armistice Day. During the program today, you will hear the North Choir, orchestra, band, and also readings from Afghanistan, Wisconsin, a verbatim theater project written by an alumni, Laurel McKenzie. When our honors band presents the patriotic medley of songs, which will salute the various branches of our armed services later in the program, we would ask each one of those veterans among us to please stand when your particular branch of services medley is played and be recognized. At this time, I would please ask everyone to stand. As the Scarlet Guard, Color Guard of the Appleton American Post, number 38, advances and posts the colors. We ask that you please remain standing then after, as a North Choir under the direction of Mr. Luke Allman, will then sing the national anthem. Color Guard, please post the colors.
Scarlet Guard, attention. Mark time, march. Half step, forward, march. Resume, march. car guard. Halt. Follow.
Drill instructors come and they pick on you. They, if you're short, if you're tall. There was this one drill instructor walking by. She was pushing 5'1", 5'2", and I'm 6 foot. And they had these, we call them Smokey the Bear hats, the long brim around them. And she stops right in front of me. And we're in the position of attention. And she turns and looks at me. And I'm looking straight ahead, so all I can see is the brim up to my chin. Then she grabs a foot locker and puts it in front of my feet. Then she stood up on the foot locker, so she was looking down at me, and she goes, "You are too damn tall!" And then, I laughed. I broke my bearing. That was the first mistake I made, by smirking, because, your bearing and your discipline are the most important things that they want to teach you. this point, they just go over the intercom that we had on our base and call it.
Back out, back out.
And everyone that can reports to the hospital, and then we start triaging the patients. So we'd always try to take the most severe to the ER partner so they can start working on that patient. I want to say within like 10 to 15 minutes, they were already taking people to where they needed to be with instructions. Emotionally, it was hard. And that was one thing that we've always learned, was to just stop your emotions and keep moving, because emotions are going to get somebody killed. Emotions are going to drive you crazy, and there's nothing you can do about it. So we've always learned to just stop the emotions. But it would obviously always creep up, because we're human.
close. Can't remember his name though. There's been so many people. I lost a total of 18. 16 in Iraq and 2 in Afghanistan. But the reason I remember him was because the day he died, his baby had just turned 6 months old. Some of us cried. Most of us just go to the gym. And that was the majority of the ways I dealt with it, going to the gym. Because when you take in so much, it builds up, and you don't want to cry because you don't want people to think less of you, but at the same time, you want to try, but you can't get it out. After a while, you want to talk to somebody, but there was no one to talk to, even though the chaplain was there. After a while, talking doesn't work, and you feel like nothing else matters except, I guess, you want to get revenge, but at the end of the day, you know you may never get it, because you don't know who did it. At the end of the day, all we did was, again, work out, pray together, console each other, and just keep moving forward the way that we could.
On the way back home from Oman, we actually got picked up by a C-9 that had been in Afghanistan, picking up some caskets of fallen soldiers. And so we spent the entire flight from Oman to Dover Air Force Base in Delaware with these caskets. And it was somber. Yeah. It was a pretty somber time for me. But when we got back, when we got home, we got to see the repatriation ceremony, which was absolutely beautiful. It really shows the honor our country can give to those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice,
At this time, I'd ask the color guard to come forward. And again, when your branch medley is played, would you please rise and be recognized?
Right shoulder, arms. March back, march. Half step, forward, march. All right, march.
they shouldn't be. Most veterans I know are not afraid to talk about it, but it doesn't come up unless somebody asks. And just by asking, you can kind of bridge a gap between their experience and you.
You know, it's personal stuff. And this is just my experience. But it's not just about me. It's about everyone. Everyone who has served, and everyone who has fallen.
I still live my life as I'm still in the military. And part of me feels, again, I'll be quick to tell you, feel like I need some volunteers to go to Iraq, and I'd be one of the first ones to tell you I'd be ready to go. I don't know why I'd be one of the first, but I would. I feel like, as an American, I have everything. I have the entitlement of, being free. And there's people out there that they don't have the freedom. They can't get the freedom because of where they were born at. There's kids in Afghanistan that have no idea what's going on. They're just forced to hate us for no reason. And I would just like to give them the opportunity to get a better life.
I don't open up a lot, but I always like to let people know that yes, it's hard. And yes, there are bad times, but there's so many good times, so many good memories. People I would never forget in my life. I've met them. And I just carry myself with that every day that I wake up, and thank God for that.
Now that I'm honorably discharged, every time that I come home, my daughter yells, "Dad," and grabs me. You know, you can't help but feel loved at that point. And so it does feel like it chips away, basically, any time my daughter shows affection for me. I mean, right now. I don't know what it'll be like when she's 12 or 13. But, you know, I'm the be-all, end-all to her. Like, maybe if I didn't have her, I'd be one of those depressed veterans that is really struggling, but I have to stay strong for her, so that she doesn't end up without a father, or with a terrible, broken father. So she's a huge inspiration. She comes when I'm asleep. She comes and crawls into bed with me. She wants to lay down by me, stuff like that. That strong feeling of love and affection. She's just not letting me be sad. It's what it is.
Today we gather together to remember, to honor, and pay tribute to all those who have served our country. Our gathering is just one small spark in a flame of pride that burns across our nation today and every day. This was Appleton North's way to say thank you and honor all of your sacrifices so that we can live in freedom. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank many of the individuals that made this program happen today. It does take a village. Bear with me. I hopefully will not forget anyone, but I think this is very, very important so that you can also see how this community, how the Appleton North community and students came together to pay tribute. Mr. Tomaszewski for live streaming all of our video and making sure that all of our 1,800 students would be able to watch the program today because we cannot fit in our auditorium, and that was very special. I'd like to thank Mr. Parker for all his directing, the PowerPoints, working with the students, and the students for their passion and their readings. To Mr. Thaldorf and the Honors Band, Mr. Kallenberger, the orchestra students, Mr. Allman, and all the North Choir for their beautiful music today. Our Appleton North and FCLA art teachers, Mrs. Westby, Mrs. Herman, Mrs. Lucas, and Mr. Brown for all their work in their art tributes that are in our foyer as you came walking in. The North Principals Cabinet for all their hard work, and Mrs. Barlowski and the foods classes that made the delicious desserts that our guests will be eating in a short time. Mrs. Penneberg for putting together our display cases, keeping the registry together, and making sure that we do honor all of our students that have walked these hall one day that are now serving. To Rodney and to Susie Jen and all her students for making sure that the display cases are always just right. And our technical crew that really made it all happen today. Would you please join me in a round of applause for all these individuals? At this time, I would ask all our veterans that were able to join us today, along with our current Appleton North students, and the miss who have already enlisted or will be in service after graduation, to please stand and be recognized by all. Remain standing. I would like to extend an invitation for all of our special guests and their families to join us in room 1306. We'll have students that will show you where that is. And if you'd like for some refreshments, and you can also take a tour of our veterans alumni display and check out the wonderful artwork after the program. I would now like to invite everyone to stand. We'd like to please observe a moment of silence as we reflect on unselfish acts of our veterans and those who have served our nation in the past and are currently serving today. This will be followed by taps performed by our very own Mr. Jim Feldorf and one of his very talented band members, Nathan Surin. I would ask that you please remain standing as we retire the colors to conclude our Veterans Day program. Color guard, please retire the colors.
Color guard, attention. March back, march. Forward, march. Other guard. Out. Ball out.
All right, so all of our special guests, we'd like you to be seated because we're going to be releasing all of our senior students. Seniors, we're going to be asking you to go back to your homerooms. You'll be there for about 10 minutes, and then you'll be released at the 8th hour. This concludes our program. Thank you.